Hello everyone, it's Elizabeth here, and today I wanted to talk a bit about cost control. I think project managers get very concerned about cost control, and I certainly get a lot of questions about it. And I think that stems from the fact that we want to be seen as guardians of the company or the organisation's money, and we want to be seen to be doing the right thing when it comes to making wise decisions about spending. The problem with that is that it then makes people think that cost control is some really complicated and confusing thing, and it means that we perhaps overthink it and get worried about how to manage the budget on projects. It really doesn't have to be that hard. What we're talking about when we're talking about cost control is budget planning, estimating, especially estimating where money is concerned, but we also need to estimate for people because people equal expense for the organisation. We're talking about planning the budget, doing the actual budget itself, making the budget from your estimates. We're talking about finding the money, financing. Where are the funds for your project going to come from? And there's a range of different places that could be anything from raising a loan from a new startup as kind of investment money, or going out and just using the company's reserves, or you're going to perhaps be borrowing or whatever. But the company needs to fund the work in some way. So financing and making sure that the money is there is important. As a project manager, I wouldn't be going out pitching to a bank for a loan, but I would need to know that the person who has approved the project, the person who is sponsoring the project, actually has the funds secured before we start to invest too much time in doing this work. So it's more of a step to check rather than a step to actively do anything on. And then the big part of the financing work for us as project managers is managing the cost. So we're looking at the day-to-day operational effort involved in understanding what costs are being spent by the project, both the intangible things, the tangible things, the capital expenditure, the operating expenditure. Tracking those things, making sure that that is in line with what we had anticipated through our forecasting and estimating, and then making adjustments, as you would do in any other area of project management, where you are seeing a deviation from the expected spend. That could be through putting in a change control, it could be through requesting more funds, it could be slowing down the work, speeding up the work, whatever little course corrections you need to do to make sure that you stay within the tolerances set for your budget. So all of those things have to be completed in order to feel like you've got a real handle, real control over the project costs. But once you've set up these things and you're tracking them, it's actually very much the same as tracking a schedule, looking at risks on a regular basis. You're just dealing with cash instead, money instead. So when you're setting up your next project budget, think about how you can streamline the process to make it easier for you. There's probably other budgets that people have used in the past, where project managers have put these things together, put spreadsheets together, or done forecasts or estimates that you can draw on. So if you don't have confidence, talk to some of the other people in your team, see what experience they've got with creating project budgets and doing cost management, and draw from their experience. Once you've had a few projects require a budget and require that level of tracking, you will find that basically it's just the numbers that change. The processes that you will use to check in with your team to make sure you're on track, all of that stays the same from project to project. You'll start off with projects probably with relatively small amounts of money and go up to perhaps millions and millions, and that's fine. But the mechanism, the underlying approach, the mental processes that you go through to ensure that you're on track, all of that is the same whether you're tracking spending £50 or 200 million pounds. There are differences in scale that come with that volume of money, that quantity of money, and expectations are different as well. Personally, I've always found it easier to track the larger numbers than to do cost control on the larger numbers than on a smaller budget. But I think that's down to personal preference and experience. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today about cost management. I hope you found that useful, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.